Hello techies. Before we start the video, let's know about Upptalk. Upptalk is a live, interactive platform for learning how to use software. It gives people strong personalities who can use all business platforms. This video is about Workday leave and absence management. Working day absence management provides a comprehensive perspective of a worker's use of various absence plans, ranging from vacation and day off plans to defined leaves of absence. Workers submit absence requests on a reasonable timeline and follow a predefined procedure for approval. Please like, share and subscribe to our channel. This video will be covered by Sachin, who is a certified trainer. Now let's get started.
Alright, okay. So we have gone through a lot of things. Now, one of the concept that I wanted to show you is the absence table. All right. There's a concept in Workday which is very useful, and it has been used a lot of times, where a lot of countries in EMEA, US, Russia, and all these countries, they have statutory as well as some supplementary kind of a leave. All right.
Yes.
Like vacation carryover, vacation buy. All right. These kind of leave of time offs. All right. But when employee requests, they do not request from 3 of the leaves. They request only one leave. All right. They request vacation. All right.
Right.
But there are 3 time off plans, 3 or 4 time off plans. So how many? Let's take an example like n number of time off plans which are correlated. All right. But they work in an order. Like if first time off plan has exhausted all the balance, then second time off plan would come into the picture. If second time off plan has exhausted all of the balance, then third time off plan would come into the picture. All right. So these all kind of scenarios gets configured in a terminology which is known as absence table.
Okay.
All right. Which is basically it allows the system to get deducted in a chronological order depending on the scenarios that we built, or scenarios or the condition that we built. All right. So for that, there is no rocket science in this. This is very straightforward kind of a configuration, which is like you have to create an absence table, create absence table.
Okay.
What you need to do, you need to put your time off plans which you have created. Priority, like first example, IND vacation. All right. I'm just giving a hypothetical. I'll give you a homework on that. All right. You will have to create 3 time off plans and merge it over here. This is, for example, AUT vacation. It is automatically tied up with AUT time off. All right. You now understand the concept. What will happen once this whole absence table is configured? Once this is configured, what will happen? The employee would see when the employee would request, he will see only vacation. All right. But the deduction will happen like first employee would exhaust first vacation plan. If it has been exhausted, then second vacation plan, any vacation which has been taken would be deducted from the second vacation plan. If it has been exhausted, then whatever vacation that person is taking, would be utilized under the third time of plan.
Okay.
This particular concept is known as absence table. All right.
Okay.
So this scenario, why we have created this kind of scenario? Like for example, in countries like China, Hong Kong, EMEA, like Germany, they do not have like they have concept of statutory. All right.
Yes.
Which
Yes.
is single time of plan, and the second one is supplemental.
Right.
But when the employer requests, they request China vacation, all right, or any vacation.
Right.
So the mathematical calculation automatically happens in the time of plan, all right. Which should be deducted first, which should be deducted second. Everything happens in the time of plan in the later stage, all right.
Yes.
So this particular table is known as absence table, all right. So please note down your homework, what you need to do. All right, I know you've been lagging a lot in terms of homework, but this is something that is a ritual in my classes that you need to create a 3 time of plans. All right, in the same country. All right, one is statutory, one is supplemental, and one is vacation buy. All right, vacation buy will not have any accrual. So in the calculation, you will give 0.
Yes.
In the calculation, you will have to add a value 0, only 0.
Okay.
Okay. Vacation will have some value. Vacation carryover would have 3 days per year. All right.
Right.
Vacation will not have any borrowing limit. All right. 0 borrowing limit.
Okay.
Okay. Whatever you accrual calculation you are looking at, give it. All right.
Like I can say, China statutory, China. Okay. China vacation 1.
You go for China statutory, China
and,
vacation carryover, and
China
third is
vacation.
China vacation buy. Okay.
Yeah.
3
So,
create and
first
create an absence table and make it as China vacation.
Okay. So the first it needs to deduct from the China carryover. Then it comes to statutory.
No, first let it. So change the name as carryover. Make it at additional. All right.
Okay.
The third one would be vacation buy. So China vacation, China additional days, and China vacation buy.
Okay.
Create an absence table. The validation would be similar. Whatever you want, increment 0.5, maximum 1. Okay, this kind of thing. If you want to add it over here. Add the same validation which you add in the timeouts. All right.
Okay.
You have the capability, power in this. Okay. So make sure that you create this. All right. Since we have covered a lot of things with time of plan, now let's move to the another module, which is a very interesting module, and it is a very vast module, which is known as the leave of absence. So we are moving from certainty to uncertainty. All right.
Okay.
As my words were when I was teaching the time of plan, whenever someone asks what is the difference between a time of plan and a leave of absence, there is a clear state of answer, which is leave of absence is uncertainty. Time of plan is certainty. All right. This is the only concept that is there. All right. So now let's it is a very clear state of configuration. There is no much on this. All right. So whenever we are creating a leave of absence, we have a concept of thinking like larger than it is for a longer duration of time. All right. Right. So it's a very simple thing that we write. It is create. The task is create leave type. All right. What type of leave? Like what type of time of plan you are creating? So we write create time of type. For in leave of absence, we write create leave type.
Okay.
So the moment you create it, you will see a lot of items over here. All right. So today we are not going to cover a lot of items over here. We are going to concentrate on the few items. All right. All right. You may think that we are going partially answer, but the thing is that we need to make sure that what is the concept behind this. All right.
Okay.
So let's create a maternity leave. All right. Let's have a maternity leave. All right. What I suppose, like if for a country, if I'm making, I'll add the initial of the country. All right.
Yes.
IND, maternity. All right.
Mm.
And once I've added this, what I make sure that I keep the leave ID same as the leave type ID. All right.
Okay.
If you're not having so much of details in that, you just put an underscore also. All right. Why we do it for the leave type ID? The reason behind is it is getting synced with the payroll integrations. All right.
Okay.
Or any integrations, it gets synced. So for that reason, we put we need to have the unique ID, correct?
Okay.
All right. So this is the only concept behind this. Right. So I have put the second name as maternity ID. Position based is basically if you're having a position, it is only applicable for the position. All right. Only
Right.
for positions. So
Right.
doesn't make a sense.
Mhm.
Then leave family. Which leave family you want to keep it?
Absence.
They're already a created leave family like company, disability. It is basically grouping the leave
Okay.
to a certain extent. Like for example, you can create your own custom leave family. Like this is for India. India is
Mhm.
the group.
Okay.
All right. There is no eligibility. Similarly, like it is a company disability group. Okay. Family is basically group.
Okay. Right. Right.
For example, if I have create here, maintain leave families is a task. All right.
Mhm.
You can have your own leave over here, like India. Okay. These are the leaves which have been categorized. What are the leaves which are falling under this family? Like bereavement leave, jury duty falls in company. Canada long term, Canada short term disability, USA long term. All right. Grouping the leaves to a single entity is known as family. All right.
Okay. Right.
I added India. All right. So whatever leaves are making, it will be for the India. So IND maternity, it belongs to the family India. All right. Leave payment type. This is none of our concept. This is basically based for United Kingdom and France. All right. Whatever the calculations in Workday happens, all right, you get your leave associated with it. All right. Whatever earning or deduction calculations happen in Workday, you put your leave associated with it. That particular concept is been used in leave payment type. Whatever earning deduction is been created in your system, and if it is getting used, then in your system for in your Workday system, and those are for only two countries, even not for USA. All right.
Right.
So that is particularly be used in leave payment type. However, don't worry. Your leaves can be used in your payroll in a different manner. I'll show you how it gets used. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. This section is gone. Now leave visibility. If you want your employees to see the leave, all right, balances and all, that is the concept. Always show,
Never show.
never show, only show to the secured user leave of absence event. Secured user means those users who have the security to see that leave.
Okay. Administrator.
Absolutely correct. Right. So this is the first section of the leave. All right. First, we group it into a leave family. All right. Which group it belongs, and then the visibility. After that, after moving to that, like the concept of who are the folks who are eligible. All right. For example, India. All right. India is the country. Like all the workers in India are eligible. Now it is a maternity leave, which means basically it is for female workers.
Female.
Correct.
Right.
So now we will have to create an eligibility criteria. Correct.
Right.
So let's create an eligibility criteria. So for leave of absence, we need to create leave of absence rule. All right.
Okay.
Worker is female.
Female. Gender is equal.
So this is the basically eligibility criteria. For leave of absence, you have to create a leave of absence rule. It is basically the eligibility criteria. All right. I'll add this eligibility criteria over here. Worker is female, which means this is the second level eligibility. All right. First level eligibility is it is based out of country. All the workers in India are eligible. But after that, when we did the bifurcation, it states that only the worker whose gender is female.
Right.
They are only eligible. All right.
Right.
Okay. Nice. So this section is done. Now, let's understand this concept. Okay. This is most important concept because this is the concept that's been asked all the time. The first checkpoint, if you see, the moment you create the leave of absence and if you check this particular box that is inactivate worker,
It will inactivate the worker right from the leave start date.
exactly. So if we inactivate this worker, what will happen? The worker will not have the access to use Workday till the time he hasn't been written actually and manually a security administrator make that person active. All right.
Right.
So upon the return of the employee has to inform the HR team that I am back on the system and kindly reactivate me to the system. So that is the concept. Generally, we do not do because the moment worker, if he has to make some corrections or make any changes in the Workday, he will not be able to do it because he's been inactivated. Worker ID is inactivated.
Right.
So that is the worker ID. Second concept is the payroll effect. Some leave of absence do get some paisa, all right, money. Some leave of absence do not, all right. If the payroll effect is checked, which means the payroll has been impacted, which means the amount will not be credited to the employee's account. All right. That is the reason payroll effect is checked. Okay. Payroll will not get any data and amount will not be credited to the employee's account. Okay. That is the concept of payroll effect check. Now moving to the third concept, which is absence accrual effect. All right. It is a very, very good concept. Absence accrual effect means some of the leaves where you are getting the balances. All right. Like sick leave or vacation leaves. All right. The moment you are on a leave of absence, you will not receive any balance in that particular buckets.
Okay.
That is something is applicable when the absence accrual effect is checked in the leave of absence. If this leave of absence, if you are in a maternity leave, you are not entitled to get any balances in your vacation plan. All right. Okay, this has been the requirement. So what you need to do, you have to click on the absence accrual effect check, and after that, whatever vacation plan you have created, like let's take an example, you time of plan. Let me open time of plan.
Time of plan.
All right, whatever time of plan, you have to do a certain configuration also. For example, vacation.
Vacation.
Let's open any of the vacation, EUT vacation. Okay. So here you have the calculation. Na? So you have to add another condition over here, like B on leave as of period ended with the absence accrual effect, which means
Mhm.
you can have either or any of them. All right. On leave during the entire period with the absence accrual effect checked. All right. On leave during the period palm with absence accrual checked. All right.
Okay.
If it means if this is checked for this leave type, all right, and you put the value 0, whatever calculation you want your time of plan to be impacted, then you have to create this. All right.
Okay.
Absence accrual effect checked. All right.
Okay, got it.
That is a concept. All right. You have to make sure that whatever time of plans you are creating, you have to mention this particular condition based
Okay.
on the requirements which HR or benefits gives. All right.
Yes, got it.
Simple concept. Now benefits effect check. Benefits effect check is like health, dental insurance, and other benefits. All right. If this particular item is checked, all right, the benefit consultant will do another thing, which is basically whatever the employer contribution. All right, in benefits there is an employee contribution factor, and the second factor is the employer contribution. All right.
All right. Yeah.
Are you aware of this?
No benefit, I'm not much, but
So take it as a PF. All right.
okay.
In provident firm, what happened? We do a contribution and our employer also do a contribution.
Right.
Right.
Correct.
Whenever we are on a leave of absence, and if we don't want the employer to contribute, or
Yes.
either vice versa, we shouldn't contribute, then the benefit effect should be checked for that particular benefit. All right. And
Okay.
after that, the benefit consultant in the company who has configured Workday will make the adjustment in the Workday system. All right.
Okay, got it.
If this particular item is checked. Now, stock vesting effect. Are you aware of the factor stocks?
Stock, like basically it is applicable to little higher authorities where they get a stock from the company, and if they are on the leave and whatever the stock, the rate on that day, it might not get affected to that particular employee.
All right, that's a good point. Yes, stock vesting is that you will not be able to vest those stocks.
Right.
All right, if this effect is checked. All right.
Mhm.
Continuous service date effect. What does that mean?
Continuous service effective means like
Tenure effect.
tenure effect. Yes, like tenure effect.
Professional leave effect. Sabbatical and professional leave are both correlated. All right. The amount of days that you get in a sabbatical and a professional leave, it will also get affected. All right. Sabbatical is something you take, you are not feeling good about the mental health and you want to take a longer period of leave. So company do have a bucket for that. All right.
Okay.
You take a year and come back.
Right.
That would get reduced. Continuous service date and tenure effect, they are similar, but there is a slight difference. All right. What difference? I'll tell you. You are currently with, let's take an example of any conglomerate, TCS. All right. You're working in Hyderabad TCS, and you are now sent to on-site. All right. On-site means TCS Australia. All right.
Mhm.
So which means your cost center and your payroll team is now changed. Correct.
Right, change.
You're now with a different payroll team, which means you have to get terminated and you have to go to TCS Canada, Australia.
Australia.
All right.
Mhm.
But you're still in the TCS family. All right.
Right.
That is the tenure. Okay.
Mhm.
That is the total tenure. You have survived 3 years in Australia, 1 year in India. So which 4 years you have contributed in TCS. Correct.
Right.
So that depends on your tenure. Now, continuous service date is like after serving 4 years,
Mhm.
3 years in Australia, you come back to Hyderabad office. So the total number of years of service you have would be 1 year. All right. Because after 1 year, you have started again in TCS Hyderabad, which is your current company. So
Right.
this is basically continuous service date, which is basically continuation of your service in your current entity.
Okay. Okay.
That is
So,
continuous service date. Okay.
yeah.
You
Got it.
belong to TCS, but you now belong to TCS Hyderabad. Hyderabad has a different set of items. Right.
Mhm. Right.
That is the continuous service date. Like country hire date that we call similarly
Mhm.
continuous service date. Okay.
Okay.
Talent effect. Talent effect is basically your appraisal and your any certification that is coming up and you're doing it through Workday certifications, that would get effect.
Okay.
Scheduling effect. This is particularly based on the appraisals. All right. This would get affected. So compensation, this particular two things is correlating with two different module. One is the compensation and one is your talent. Talent is also a module. These are
Okay.
correlating to this, those items. This is particularly your Workday payroll and this is your Workday benefits. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So these are the important aspects whenever like you are now working in your company, but whenever you move out from a company and you are coming to a Workday customer or a partner, they will ask you this question: what are the 4 or 5 items which is actually leave has an impact on? So better be ready with these kind of answers.
Got it.
Fair enough. Straightforward question and answer.
Yes.
Okay. Now let's move to the another tab. All right. Wariko. So now this is validation and supporting document. Validation is basically what? Hindrance, correct? What do you understand by the concept name as validation?
Well, there is like certain rules. The way we are given like only female, like the maternity is applicable to all India, but only the female employees can avail it. In the same way, we have to we can put a validation where employees going on a maternity leave, then supporting documents also need to be uploaded.
Correct. So validation is basically hindrance. Supporting data is basically showing extra data to the workers. All right. Showing extra information.
Okay.
Displaying information while requesting leave of absence. That is basically supporting data. All right. Sufficient balance exists. It's basically the leave of absence should have sufficient balance. All right. Else you will not be able to request. All right. That is the sufficient balance exist. All right. If you check this box, which would actually enable that if sometimes you give the leniency to the worker that, okay, they don't have, let them take the advantage. If you check this box, the worker will not be able to request more than the balance they have. All right. Do not allow request. Are you getting the point?
Okay. But the maternity, we are not give. Okay, we are giving any balances directly, or it's just or I think if there is no accrual for this,
No,
and
there is some documentation you have to provide. So depends to company, requirement to requirement. All right.
okay, okay,
Balance in the day, there is no certainty. All right. There is no certainty. But however, all right, you got maternity leave. All right. And if you want to go, if you're taking a longer duration, like 90 days, 220 days. All right. Some companies give 94 to 102 days. All right. If you're going beyond that, so it will not allow you the request. All right.
okay,
The employee will not be able to make the request. All right. Do not allow request if it has been checked. If it is not checked, the employee would be able to do it. All right. Don't think from the concept of if maternity, if it is not allowed maternity, how come? Think from the requirement standpoint. If the requirement has come, that 94 days is the validation, and employee will not be able to request it. All right.
okay.
So this is the do not allow request. All right.
Mhm.
However, if you check the other box that allow override entry on the behalf of the worker, which means any higher authority would be able to request the maternity leave on behalf of the worker if this checkbox has been checked. All right. Even though that balance is insufficient. All right. This is one type of validation. All right. I don't believe that this validation would exist for maternity. But however, if it is a validation, we have creating there are two options. All right. Is it clear?
Yeah, clear.
All right. There are other set of validation. Let's see what are the set of validation which are already created. So let's take this. This is one of the validation, which is very Australia parental leave missing data. Expected due date must be entered on the birth when taken by the birth mother. Child's birth date must be entered on the birth when not taken by the birth mother or placement due date. Sometimes in maternity leave, you may feel that that is like you have to add a expected due date, all right, while requesting the time of leave. All right. There are certain forms which you have to, there are additional data which you have to fill while requesting the maternity leave. All right. For example, expected due date, uh, number of births, all right, previous births. All right. These are the sections whenever you want to take a maternity leave. This is a hypothetical example. It can be configured in your Workday system. All right. And if you want the data to be entered and to not be neglected, you can create the validation rule. All right. For the employee. If you see this is basically a leave of absence rule. All right. If I open this and I go to the new tab, open it in a new tab. And if we see this, there's a rule condition. One is leave reason, birth mother, expected due date is not blank. Leave reason is birth other parent, child birth date is not blank. Leave reason adoption, child birth date and adoption placement date is not blank, which means whatever reasons you are selecting, you have to add this particular field into it. All right. Suppose if you are a birth mother, you have to add a leave expected due date while requesting the leave of absence. If you are not the mother, you are taking your other parent, you have to add the child's birth date. If you are adopting a child, you have to add the child birth date and adoption placement date. If these are not blank, all right, then it will trigger. All right. So this is basically validation. Let's take it as a reason. All right. Do not allow request, allow override. All right. Which means you have to add these kind of reasons. All right. Now, these are basically a validation. You can explore a lot of validation. You can create your own validation. Supporting data. Supporting data is what data you want to see. So total entitle. Like total entitlement days. All right. While requesting the leave, the supporting data will show total balance as the column override, as the column value. All right, column heading. Label override is basically, to override the item. Next time. Let's open this particular thing. What does this mean? If you see, it is basically
Option
arithmetic calculation. Okay, it is basically arithmetic calculation. Calculated field they have created. Leave, total entitlement leave. Okay, they have created 3 or 4 leaves into it, into a one entitlement days. Let's leave it for a while. Calculated field they have used. They have complicated the system. Hey, where is your leave of absence? Okay, no worries.
Refresh.
All the time these things happens. Yeah.
Family India.
Supporting data, I can have anything. If what value to display, you see, what does this say? Value to display. Supporting data means what value you want to display.
The entitlement is
Remaining days of the worker balance left. So what does this mean? It is basically the employee will see the value to display as balance left and the value. All right.
the header. Header will be changed.
Header. If you want to hide it from the worker, you click over here. Only the administrator would be able to see it. Okay.
Right.
This is basically this particular section, validation and supporting data. 2 of the sections are done. Now, what balances you want to give? All right. If you do not want to track the balances, like whatever you want to take it, then do not check this box.
Okay.
If you want to track the balance, then you have to check this. Then what will happen automatically? These 2 items would come into the place. So what is balance calendar start date and balance calendar end date? You remember balance period in time of plan? Do you remember that I have taught you a concept balance period? What is a balance period? It's basically a transaction period, correct?
Transaction start date and end date.
Transaction start date means what is the fiscal period, all right? The total number of credit and total number of debit,
Debit.
from the period is known as the balance period, All right.
Yes. Yes.
Similarly, in absence also, there is a balance calendar started and balance calendar ended. All right. You cannot be able to take maternity leave twice in a year.
Right. Only.
All right. It should get renewed. All right. Like this year you have become a mother, and after that, this next year you will become another mother. All right. It doesn't work like that from January to December. It can happen from first day of the event. All right. For like you became mother in March. All right. And next July you become another mother. All right. So your balance would get renewed in July, automatically in July. Correct.
Okay.
There is no YTD current calendar year which started and ended. All right. So that's why first, let's make first day of event. First day, let me have it. There are a lot of items. Effective day, first day of the leave.
Current effective date minus 12 months.
Last day of the leave. Let's have another one. Last day of the leave. So this is the transactional period. All right. The whole period. First day of the leave and the last day of the leave based on the entitlement. All right. Unit of time. Let's have it in days. All right. What value you want to give, you give it up from here. All right. Accrue as a go, you know, na?
Yes, sir.
If you click this per event, it will become a accrue as a go. All right.
Right.
Per event, if you click this, then there is no need of having this. There are different kinds of calculation, entitlement balance that you can give. It is basic accrual, like for example, 94 days. Okay. If you want to give a straightforward item, if you want to perform a calculation like job profile A would have a different category, job profile B would have a different category, job profile 3 would have a different category, then you go through calculation. All right.
Right. Right.
Like when you have condition or all. All right. Let's see. If you want to give any other values, all right, you can have this like age, parental days, estimated days. What numeric concept they have given a numerics. Whatever calculated field you will be creating, it would come under this. All right.
Okay.
Like job profile A would have different, you know, a calculated field.
Yes, I know, but I never tried to create it.
Okay. Okay, no problem. Practice that, it will help you out.
Yeah.
Okay, for example, my job profile is grade A. Grade A would have 15 days. Grade B would have 90 days. All right, that period of time we would be creating. Basically, it is a condition, correct?
Right.
Which means conditional calculation. But here we have to add calculated field. So evaluate expression is a type of calculated field which we would be using. Okay. So that is a concept over the calculation. If you don't want to put it in, you want to have an entitlement per event. So this would be none of the above and entitlement per event. All right.
Okay.
So let's have 94 days. Right. Days to include means what are the days which should be included. All right. For example, Monday to Friday, work days, non-holidays. All right. You know this. All right. That we have already configured in our time of plan. Correct.
Right.
Monday to Friday, include all leave types from this family. All right. Like for all the leave types which are belong to this family, they would be working like this. Additional leave type and intermittent time offs. These are two important concepts. Intermittent time offs is like that. You do not have any accrual in your time of plan. All right. You know accrue as a go. Correct?
Right.
In accrue as a go, we created accrual after you create the time off. All right.
Right.
Nice. But now what you will do in accrue as a go plan, you will not create the accrual. You will not at all create the accrual. Understand? You just need to add the, so what are the things that gets created when you create a time of plan? When you create a time off, there are three components which gets created. You need to put your time off name over here. All right. So what will happen? The balance would deduct from the entitlement which is there from the time of plan. This leave of absence. You have requested 5 days. This would deduct from the leave of absence. All right. When you are utilizing the leave of absence balance in your time off plan, where there is no accrual, all right, then it becomes intermittent time off. All right. Relating leave of absence with time off is known as intermittent time off. Okay. Understand the concept?
Yeah, little bit confusing.
You need not to create accrual.
Right.
Accrual is not created. Whatever time off you have created would be mentioned in this particular box. Okay.
Okay.
And if you want to request time off, okay, rather than leave of absence, you want to make it certain. All right. Then you request time off, the balance would get deduct from the leave of absence. All right. So that is the concept. This is certainly gets created in long-term disability, short-term disability. FMLA. FMLA leave. Whenever we create a FMLA leave, we add intermediate time offs. You can use either way. You can use leave of absence where you have a request leave of absence, then return from leave or estimate and start date. However, if you want to use it as a time off, all right, time off means for a short period of time, like for 3 days, 2 days.
Right.
You need not to create an accrual. All right. You just need to put the time off over here. Okay.
Okay.
That would do the job.
Okay.
That is the concept of intermediate time off. All right. Cascading additional. So now we will talk cascading later. All right. This would be a very advanced thing. So first thing, reason. Birth mother. Other. Birth non-mother. Okay. Validation na? Expected due to birth mother, child birth date, correct? All those reasons why you are taking the leave of absence. Okay. Leave reason is required. Additional data while requesting the leave. These are already been there. We cannot create and add any other additional data. Expected child, you will see expected due date. Adoption placement date. There will be adoption placement date. All right. If you make it required, automatically you will not be able to request leave if you're not have added this field. All right. So there is no point of having this validation. Correct.
Right.
However, if you have not put it, all right, this validation would work. All right. So this is the main leave of absence we have created for India maternity. All right.
Okay.
Whoever is a female worker would get 94 days. All right. And they have to select the reason as reason as either they are birth mother, non-mother, other, expected due date, child's birth date, adoption placement date. Okay.
Right.
This is a very easy concept. Okay. Now, if in future you do not need that leave of absence, all right, in the system, what shall you do? You have to inactivate. You cannot delete a leave of.
You cannot delete
once it has been used. If it has been used once, you cannot delete it. Okay. What you need to do, you see the delete option because this leave of absence hasn't been utilized yet. All right, hasn't been used by a single worker.
Right.
What you need to do, you need to just click on this inactivate.
Okay.
So that is the concept. Okay.
Okay.
You can't make this leave inactivate because it's used to calculate leave taken from another leave. All right.
Mhm.
कहाँ लिखा है? Then you can inactivate. Okay. That is the concept. Inactivate leave at that point of time.
Okay.
So this is the leave of absence. We have created a maternity leave.
Maternity leave.
Very easy, very easy. This is not a difficult. This is very easy configuration. We will have a difficult configuration moving forward. Okay.
Okay.
There is no hard way. The way we started with the simple thing. Yeah. There are a lot of concepts which is cascading leaves. All right.
Right.
We have to create that. We will create an intermittent time off also. All right.
Okay.
For your concept, we will create an intermittent time off also. But before that,